All right. Hey, good morning. And of course, my lawn care goes off. Yay. Hey guys, how are you today? I'm crazy excited about what we're going to do today. So get ready. I know it's early. Trust me, I know it's early. Grab your morning cup of coffee, whatever tea, whatever it is you plan on drinking this morning, and let's go. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kathleen McCusker. I'm a life strategist and divorce coach. And part of what we're going to do today is we're going to figure some shit out. One of the things when I talk to clients, but when I talk to other people, most of the time, no matter who we are, no matter where we are, no matter where we think we've achieved in life, we all trying to figure some shit out. Okay. We all have it. It doesn't matter who we are. We've all got stuff that we're trying to figure out. So how do we do that? Where do we begin? And that, my friends, is what we're going to do today. We are going to figure some stuff out right here, right now, together. So today, you're going to need something to write on and write with. So whether you're joining me live or if you're in the replay, I want you to hit that pause button, go grab yourself something to write on and write with. Now, those of you who like to do things on the computer and you're like, oh, no, Kathleen, thought exercise. This is when I'm going to contradict you with that on. It's too much information, right? Our brains will only hold on to so much at a time. There is a point where I can have you just not write things down, but it's really helpful if you can write this down. Some of you, if you want to work on the computer, that's 100% okay. It's not going to look quite the same, but you're all right. You're going to be all right. So here is what we have. We are going to, hey, Kim, thanks for joining me this morning. It's good to see your beautiful face. Mwah. So listen, grab a pen and paper, grab something to write with, because we're going to rock and roll this morning. So one of the things that we're going to do today is something that some of you have probably seen and done before, but that's okay. This is something that I ask people and share that you should do this at least a couple of times a year, because this is our lives and how we view our life is so subjective, right? It's our opinion. It's how we feel about it. Somebody else looking from the outside could be looking at your life and go, girl, you got it going on. And you're thinking, I'm a hot mess. So this is something that doing at least every 6 months, sometimes every quarter, is just a good exercise for you because it's a way for you to measure progress. So I hope you're ready. So I got to open my notebook too. I got mine. So it's called a life wheel. Now, many of you are going to be familiar with that. You're going to be like, I see that all over the place. There's a reason for that. Is because it's an excellent tool. Now, a lot of times it's going to be all fancified for you and it's going to be drawn for you. But today we're going old school. We're going to draw it ourselves. I'm going to show you how. It's not really hard. On your paper, I want you to draw a circle. Just draw a circle. Don't get all, I can't draw. It doesn't have to be perfection. We're not talking about perfect. It's just draw a circle. So here we go. I'm going to give myself a little room at the top, and then I'm going to draw a very wonky, very lopsided looking circle. My circle's a little flat on the top. Okay. Again, just remember, doesn't have to be fancy. Now I want you to put a plus sign in your circle. So you're going to just draw top to bottom, side to side. So now it looks like somebody's in the crosshairs. It's your life. And now we're going to put an X in it. So you're going to draw 2 diagonal lines all the way across. So now this is going to take you back to when you were in school and it looks like a piece of pie. Or it's going to take you back to Christmas and everybody was eating things that we ate too much of that maybe we shouldn't have. All right. So, but lots of pie. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 areas of your life that we're going to take an opportunity right here today, right before New Year's, right before everybody tries to do those New Year's resolutions, which by the way, don't do those. But this is an opportunity for you to say, okay, so right now at the end of the year, before we start this brand new year, brand new opportunity to start anew, what does my life look like? I want you to think about areas of your life that you spend time in. So right now we're not talking about career, but if you want career to be a slice of that pie, you can do career. If you've got kids, you can have kids be their own category. Your significant relationships can be its own category. Your emotional well-being, your physical well-being, your spiritual well-being. I want you to take a moment and just label around the outside what categories of your life you want to look at. I'm doing it too. Get out. That's I got my 7-year-old woke up to that. Crawl in. All right. So and it's okay if you don't come up with 8. It's all good. It's all right. What we're gonna do is any of them that you feel like you're like, I don't have enough to fill in all of them. That's okay. You don't have to have them all filled out. So emotional. You can do career or mission. Da, da, da. I'm going to do kids, significant other. Okay, so while y'all work, I'm going to give you some examples because I've got mine done. I'm going to read to you what I filled out, and y'all, I had to hustle a little bit to fill them all out. So I'm not going to lie. So if you don't have them all filled out, it's okay. All right, so I did physical well-being, spiritual well-being, and emotional well-being because for me, those are 3 different things. Okay, that's kind of like mind, body, spirit. Kids, I put my kids separate from my spouse because I have one of those. If you don't have a spouse, put yourself. How is your relationship with you? Don't forget about you in all of this. Friends and family, I separated them. Okay. Because honestly, like we have family here, but I probably do more with friends than I do with family. It's not right or wrong, just is. And then I went ahead and I put career in here as one as well, because frankly, a lot of us, we spend a lot of time on whatever it is our career happens to be, whatever our mission happens to be. We spend a lot of time doing that during the week. And so I decided to add that in as well. Okay. So mine looks something like this. And what we're going to do is I want you to consider the inside is 0, as in it's horrible, it doesn't exist. Like this is the worst it could possibly be. And as you start to move outward to the outer edge of the circle, this is its potential. Not that it's 100%, but it's out of the potential you have in your life for this to be outstanding and spectacular. Where are you on this scale? And I want you to just kind of draw a line. So, for example, okay, I'll put this down here. I'm gonna give you an example so you can see one. Okay, so this one right here is for me, is for my physical. I had a car accident last year, and so y'all, I'm still trying to recover from that bad boy. I mean, it just took me out, and I just went to the doctor because I'm like, sir, the whole stamina thing after 7 months of not really being able to move, that's for real. So I don't have it. It's not out here saying that it's outstanding. I have a lot of work to do here right now, and that's okay. But for me right now, it's not, I don't even have it at 50%, y'all. I think I've got it somewhere around 40%, right? Somewhere in here. I want you to go in and evaluate where you feel you are potential wise in each one of those areas and just draw a line and they'll connect. And once you've done that, I want you to kind of connect all these lines together, kind of give it a little bit of a heavy outline because you're going to find that it's not necessarily going to make a circle. It could look something like this. That's not a circle, it's kind of wonky looking. Some things are all right, they're connected together, but it's kind of wonky. And I want you to understand that that's okay and that's perfectly normal because I want you to think that these are all aspects of our lives that matter to us because you've selected them, right? You've identified these as areas of your life that matter to you, right? They often look different. Some of our things are the same, but we break things apart a little differently. You might have put friends and family together, or you might have put your relationships all in one and not separated them out. Um, and you might have put community, right? Your community that you're in. So all of us have these areas of our lives that we want to spend time on, that we want to focus on. They're important to us. However, life being as it is, we don't often spend the time in those areas of our lives that we want to see improvement or growth in. This is a great way for us to be able to measure that because it's entirely subjective, right? It's our life. Somebody else isn't going to look at it the same. So when I look at this, y'all, I can see if these were the wheels on my car that I call life, I got whiplash. Okay. I'm not going very fast. I'm driving a little slow because that's a rough ride. But what I can do is I can look at this and I know my life, I know what's going on. Well, okay, I know why the physical part of my life it looks the way it does right now, but it will improve, right? It will get better the more and more active I'm able to become after the car accident. So I just didn't expect it to take so long. So I know that's going to improve. So I'm not necessarily super concerned about that. But what I am concerned about is that I have some that are really high. And here's the thing, if you saw my wheel from a while back ago, you would have noticed these areas that are really high, they were actually really low. But I've spent time working on those this past year. Why? Because I had other areas that I couldn't do anything with, right? I was hurting. So I had time to spend that I didn't normally have on my emotional well being, on my spiritual well being. I can focus on those things. Whereas in a normal year, I'd be focused all out here on friends, family, relationships, because I could move. Okay. I hope this is making sense. So here's what I get to do. I now am looking forward to this coming year because I now get to choose consciously how I'm going to spend my time. Where do I want to spend my time? I can now look at the different areas of my life and say, okay, Kathleen, what is my focus? I'm going to pick two, at the most three. What are areas of your life that you're looking at and you go, wow, I could spend some time on improving, right? I can also look at this and go, wow, I did a lot of work on my spiritual well being this past year. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty high. I want to keep it that way. I don't want to ignore that. And I can see that, like my kids, my spouse, my friends, and my family, those are in my physical well-being, those are kind of on the low side as a result of my lack of mobility this past year. So I can see and acknowledge, right? I have understanding about what's happening in my life. That's what this gives you. This gives you the opportunity to reflect and ask yourself, well, why did I rate that so low? Well, notice I said potential. Well, mine with a lot of family and friends and kids, I rated it lower because from the potential side, I haven't been as active as I would like to be. So I have rated myself lower on that. Is that something that can be changed? Yes. Is that an area? And here comes the next key, is that yes, it can be changed, but is that an area that I want to invest time in this year? The answer is going to be different for everybody. But where is it that I want to spend my time? Do I want to devote more time to my career? Like, what's important? I left off finances off of this. Kind of might have done that on purpose this year, but like you can have a wedge that shows your finances, but you get to look at and make decisions now. What's your focus for the next 3 months, the next 6 months? I like doing these about every quarter because it kind of helps me stay on target and make adjustments. Our lives, the person I am today is not going to be the person I am 3 months from now. 3 months from now, I will have grown, I will have changed, I will have made adjustments. So in 3 months, I can do the same wheel again and make different decisions and make adjustments to what I'm doing. That's the ease and joy of this. Plus, y'all, I love things that don't require, I have to print out some sort of fanciness to do. I like something that I can sit down and just simply put it into effect. I don't have to wait. So now here's the next step. Once you've done this, I want you to pick those 2, maybe 3 areas that you want to focus on, and we're just going to identify what they are. So I'm going to take a look, and I'm just going to, and I want you to think in terms of importance to you as well. Which out of those 2 to 3 that you're going to pick, which one is your first priority? Which one is your second priority? And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to do 1. Oh, okay, y'all. And then I'm going to do, mine is going to look a little, okay, I'm cheating. Not really. Okay, so I want you to see what I did. So I put a 1 at physical because for me, that affects so much of what I can do and who I am. I've got to focus here if I want to improve. And okay, so when I say I cheated, I lumped all of these relationships together and was like, that's 2. That's a lot of stuff in there. But I'm looking at it as an overall as my relationships because I haven't been able to do as much physically. They've suffered because I haven't been able to do, right? I haven't been able to do things. I've been having to find alternatives. So I'm going to actually, relationships. All right. So physical and relationships. If those are the 2 areas that I'm going to focus on, I now have to have a very honest conversation with myself. And so do you. So this is where you can continue to use your journal. You can think through, you're going to need to ask yourself these questions. The first one is that I want you to look at each one of these areas that you've selected, and I want you to ask yourself, okay, so I raked these, in my case, they're the lowest. Why? And what needs to change? I want you to kind of identify those things for yourself. And this is where we have to be super radically honest with ourselves in order to answer that question, because sometimes the answer is all right here with us and our choices and our actions. And that can be kind of uncomfortable. Okay. Yay! I'm glad you're enjoying it, Kim. This is great. And I love seeing you. And girl, you look good. Like you look amazing. All right. So let's do this. So, because Kim clearly she's been working, she is doing it. She is doing the work. So I'm positive that physical, because I know you and I've talked before, you've been amazing. Are you still juicing and doing all that? Yeah, see, I find that to be amazing. And we're gonna have to talk later. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what I want you to do now is I want you to think about, again, pick one area. And we're just gonna do one just for time's sake, so that because it's early in the morning, y'all. We all got kids. Mine is over here talking to me off to the side, trying to climb over so she can get on camera. So I'm going to give you kind of a list of things that you can do. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a list so that you kind of know the next steps to take, so that you can take those when you have that time and space, when you have the ability to create that. So the first thing to do is I want you to look at those areas one at a time and ask yourself, okay, why did I rank it the way I did? Like, what is it that I did why did I rank it low? If you selected the low one, or if you're wanting to push forward on something that's high, why did you rank it as high as you did? And what do you need to do to feel like it's grown, that you've moved that needle forward so that it's not at the level it is, but that it's grown? So where are you now? Why did you pick it? And what for you right now are the things that would have to happen? Like, what would make that amazing? What would make that area of your life move forward? Once you've started processing those, I want you to take the time to describe that particular section of your life, if it was at its most outstanding. What does that look like, feel like, sound like? I want you to get in to all of your senses. Think about, for me, so my example, I picked physical. So what would that look like for me? Is it a weight that I want to weigh? Is it a clothing size that I'm going to select? Is it how I'm going to feel? Is it my energy level? Is it that I can run a marathon? Right? I want you to think through those pieces. What are those for you? What are the things that are going to push you forward into that most outstanding version of that piece? Because here's the beauty behind that. Once you can identify what it is that you want, what you're desiring most, what would be the most outstanding for you in that area of your life, now you have the ability to establish goals, things that are measurable and attainable for you throughout the year. This is not a New Year's resolution. This is something that is something that you're going to be able to break down into a goal. We'll do that next Saturday. But I wanted you to have something where you've got something to work with, and doing that today where you can identify those areas and really dive in and spend time this week identifying, what is that at my best? What does that look like? What does that feel like? What does it sound like? And really dive in, because this is where you live. This is your heart. This is your core coming out and you are identifying what that looks like for you. And from there, we can start to then figure out, right? We can then start to figure out how do we move forward and bring this into reality? Because ultimately, that's how we start to figure our shit out, right? We start to figure our ish out by identifying where are we right now? What do we want to improve? But then what do I want? And sometimes that takes time. Okay. Now, listen, I know if you're like me, your kids are at the door knocking. So I want to tell you how much I appreciate seeing you today. Spend time this week doing that. That's the only assignment I'm going to give you. Spend some time doing this. Maybe you decide you want to do more than one area, but spend some time on this. You can find 5 minutes. You can find 5 minutes to work on it. That's fine. And then when you come back on Saturday, we'll talk about how to change those into actionable goals and steps and breaking them down so it's not so scary, so that when you get to this time again next year, or even in 6 months, and you do this life wheel again, you'll see that those things have creeped outward, right? They'll have grown. Okay, guys, it was so good to see you. Kim, I'm so glad I got to see you. I miss you. Mwah. Love you so much. Go have an amazing Saturday, and I'll see you soon. We'll talk. Okay. Bye, guys. Mwah.